Moving on to the next topic once again to talk about the 2019 gun law and armed defense. The one who will introduce this amazing speaker is of course one of our national directors. Put your hands together to Attorney Robert V. Labe Jr., CSP. Hi, Attorney.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and honored guests,
It is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce to you a truly remarkable individual, a man whose passion,
dedication, and leadership have left an indelible mark not only in the field of firearms and safety, as well as responsible gun ownership, but in many diverse arenas of public service and education. Dr. Arthur Lawrence L. Asier, stainless steel Smith and Wesson revolver. That moment sparked a lifelong commitment to firearm safety and advocacy from 1993 to 2010. Dr. Asierto played an instrumental role in ProGun, including serving on the Board of Trustees from 1999 to 2010. His leadership was further recognized when he was elected Secretary General in 2004, Auditor from 2000 to 2003, and again from 2005 to 2006, as well as Chairman of the Legislation Committee from 1999 to 2000. But Dr. Asierto's expertise doesn't end with his remarkable contribution to firearms advocacy. He is an accredited gun safety instructor with the Philippine National Police and a seasoned practitioner of the esteemed Combat Kali, part of the official Philippine Marine Corps expert. He also serves as a reserve lieutenant colonel in the Philippine Navy Marines. In addition to his outstanding martial prowess and public service, Dr. Asierto is a scholar and educator of the highest caliber. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Accounting, followed by an illustrious array of postgraduate degrees, Doctor of Public Administration, Master of National Security Administration, Doctor of Jurisprudence, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Administration with major in Defense and Security Management, an honorary distinction befitting his monumental contribution. This afternoon, we are not just welcoming a speaker, we are welcoming a paragon of leadership, an advocate of safety, a protector of peace, an educator dedicated to building his distinguished co-speaker, Attorney Maralet, Doctor of Civil Law. Ladies and gentlemen, prepared to be absolutely amazed and inspired, we have the distinct honor of introducing to you one of the most accomplished, brilliant minds in the field of parliamentary law and governance. A man whose career has transcended the ordinary and entered the realm of extraordinary, conferred by the Civil Service Commission and serving as the Senate parliamentarian. His name is synonymous with excellence in legislative counsel. But wait, there's more. Director Maralet has not only shaped the legal landscape in the Philippines. He was personally sent to Washington, D.C. to master congressional parliamentary law under the direct invitation of the Senate President. He has counseled the most influential leaders from Senate presidents to committee chairs and has been guiding light in the formulation of well-researched, world-class parliamentary opinions and studies. Attorney Maralet is not only a scholar, but a revered educator, teaching postdoctoral law, conducting mandatory continuing legal education for the members of the bar, and shaping the next generation of legal giants in the Philippines. He stands at the very pinnacle of legal thought leadership, while also being humble servant of the people, guiding legislative action with a hand both firm and wise. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this monumental figure in the Philippine law, Attorney Amado Formoso Marales, a name that will echo in the halls of greatness for generations to come, and his co-speaker and distinguished guest, Dr. Arthur Lawrence L. Acierto.
Research ka po ng maayos.
The following important, very important persons: the Chairman Emeritus, Dr. Ed Fulgencia of the Board, General Joe E. Gutierrez, National President, Dr. Neil Singh, of course, Director Robert Nabe, who very powerful. I really like that. So maybe I'll try to emulate him when I next introduce somebody. Dr. Ed Parocha, my fellow graduate of the Philippine Law School, Doctor of Jurisprudence. Dr. Sebastian Puache, Dr. Larry Franco, Dr. Richard Alcantara, Dr. Virtu Dazo, and Dr. Aigret Lahara. So good afternoon, and to the other directors and doctors, and of course the participants in this great assembly. So, yeah, so my topic is this, no? The law governing armed defense. So I think everyone should know this, and I think I am of the impression that most of you carry guns. So just like me, I also carry guns, but not now. My TDC is my Swiss multi-tool at this point. But I also carry a gun in my, whenever I go out. So, but there are rules that govern armed defense, and we will try to outline them by showing to you how the Supreme Court has, in self-defense or in defense of relatives or in defense of strangers, do not incur criminal liability. So you can kill people if there is, of course, as long as the requisites for killing them are present. You can also not kill them, but maim them, pwede naman, legally. Ibig sabihin, you will not incur criminal liability, although possibly there will be a legal proceeding. Okay? But to defend yourself, you have no choice. You will have to use armed defense. Okay, so let's see. So this is the the revised penal code, Act number 3815. So revised penal code. Hindi ka mapipenalize. But if there is incomplete self-defense, pwede. Defense siya, it only mitigates the offense as well as the penalty. Okay. Now go to the next. So self-defense includes the defense of life, liberty, property, honor, or rights. Pati honor, pati rights. Defense of rights include all civil, political, and natural rights, in addition to those embraced in defense of person, property, and honor, which other rights are recognized and protected by law. Okay. Defense of relative. So, dalawang klase ng unlawful aggression. Actual or material unlawful aggression at saka imminent unlawful aggression. Yung imminent, ba nakatutok sa'yo, imminent na yun, nakatutok din. Pwede mo nang barilin yun. Okay. If the gun is pointed at you, you can kill, and of course the circumstances must show, the context must show that he will sooner than later shoot you. You can shoot him then. Actual or material unlawful aggression means an attack with physical force or with a weapon. An offensive act that positively determines the intent of the aggressor. So, imminent naman, unlawful aggression means an attack that is impending or at the point of happening. So may attempt na, hindi pwedeng about to attack. So, yan, ano? He is already in the act of attempting. May attempt na, no? To kill you, or to shoot you, or to harm you. It must not consist in a mere threatening or intimidating attitude. Kahit tinatakot ka niya, no? Eh kung hindi ka naman binabaril pa, hindi mo pa pwedeng barilin. Nor must it be merely imaginary. Baka barilan. Baril tayo. Sabi na Supreme Court dyan, or sabi ng number 1 sa bar of all, there is no self-defense in a concerted or pre-arranged fight. Barilan kayo, no? Barilan tayo. Sige, okay. Katulad noon, may arranged fight. Nag-usap kayo, barilan tayo. Sige, walang ano doon, pareho kayong offender. Walang defender doon, walang valid defense. But if one of the combatants attacks the other ahead of the appointed time, lalakad kayo or may usapan kayong oras, pero yun na, sino ba yung unlawful aggressor? For one to be considered the unlawful aggressor, he must be shown to have exhibited that there was a flaw. Eh wala namang baril eh. He was killing me, so okay, no? There was an aggressor dapat. Human life. The life of a human being must not be taken upon slight grounds. There must be a necessity, either actual or apparent, for the killing. Place or public street. Pwede niyang disorder, no? A policeman. However, he should have resorted to the more reasonable and logical manner by shooting the victim, even assuming the latter was the aggressor, on his limbs to disarm or disable him. To overcome his opponent, the force he must employ against his assailant must be reasonably necessary. Hindi na niya papatayin dapat ng pulis, ano? Kailangan commensurate lang doon sa situation. Tama lang, hindi overkill. Ang dami naman tama eh. There's so many moons. Reasonable ba yun? Yan ang tanong. So pinatay mo talaga. You're the criminal. Because you overdid it. Therefore, signifying criminal intent. It's not really easy to, think rationally in times of emergency. Mahirap din yun eh. But we are responsible. The law presumes that we know what we are doing. And so therefore, pag inapaka mo ng madami, you will be made liable under law. So dapat tama lang yung pagkapatay. No? The killing must be done. It's really funny kasi the killing must be done reasonably. I'm not advocating killing. I'm just saying, repeating what the Supreme Court says. I'm not an advocate of killing people. So that's not my my aim is not to teach you how to kill people before you kill. Pwede yun, no? Eh kung ang dami naman tama sa ulo, if there's multiple shots on the head, talagang asar na asar ka sa mukha nung dahil dinuraan ka, binira mo ng gusto sa mukha, wasak-wasak yung mukha, murder. Okay. So, I think I will end on this note. No? So, you may ask questions. Marami pang iba but my time has lapsed already, or about to lapse in 5 minutes. And I would like to thank you. Marami pang ibang mga facts, mga examples as have done. Diba? I think marami kayo, no? So, I just want you to be aware of these things and how the courts decide cases. So, yan lang yan. So, you might want to see.
Thank you so much. We have another one, right? Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Amado F. Marali. This time, we'll be hearing from your partner for this convention, Dr. Lawrence Asherto. Palakpakan po natin.
To Dr. Fulgeto, General Gutierrez, Dr. Silva, Dr. Martinez, Dr. Labe, Director Labe, Dr. Parocha, si Sir Ed yun, Dr. Sebastian Puabe, Dr. Parocha, si Sir Ed yun, Dr. Sebastian Puache, Dr. Franco, Dr. Alcantara, Dr. Hurtadaso, and Dr. Lahara. I noticed that meron din pala akong mga kaibigan dito, Dr. Hurtadaso and Dr. Lahara. I noticed that meron din pala akong mga kaibigan dito. Andito pala rin si yung president ng PADPAW, si Mr. Bergado. And one of my friends na nagle-lecture din sa PNP at saka sa Ganso, PADPAW, si Mr. Bergado. And one of my friends na nagle-lecture din sa PNP at saka sa Ganso, si Mr. Mark, Sir Mark, sorry, nakalimutan ko yung name mo. Yun. Ay, yun pa si Dr. Bergado. Nakalimutan ko yung name mo. Yun. Ay, yun pa si Dr. Bergado. Well, before anything else, let's just make this thing lively. Mag-English po tayo, mag-Tagalog tayo, and we'll try to make it, summarize it para magkuha natin yung gist. The thing that I'll be discussing right now ended. So, this is the title of my talk. It's an overview of the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act as amended by 11766. Yan in essence, what Attorney Maralit or Dr. Maralit talked about was the law on self-defense. I'll be talking about firearms law. Let's just, these are the topics that we'll be discussing: declaration of policy, definition of terms, ownership and possession of firearms, and penal provisions. Let's just make a summary of it. Let's probably skip from time to time the slides that we have. So what is the summary of it? Let's probably skip from time to time the slides that we have. So what is the declaration of policy of this law? Republic Act 10591. Through when reasonable means to repel an unlawful aggression under the circumstances, the use of firearms. We have to remember that we have a law on self-defense, systems of a right to self-preservation. But we can use any means and any weapons, and one of the weapons that we may use probably would be the firearms or guns. Meron tayong karapatan, meron tayong right na mabuhay. But to defend ourselves, tama yun, karapatan yun. Pero kung paano natin i-defend ang ating sarili is through a privilege by using firearms. Kaya wala tayong second amendments in the Philippines. Unlike the United States of America, meron sa Pilipinas, the only thing that we have is the privilege to own and possess firearms as declared in numerous cases cited by the Supreme Court. And the latest was the case of Acosta versus Acosta versus Mindstrip, yung dating executive secretary President Noynoy. So it states do not have the right to bear arms, but we only have the privilege to bear and own firearms. So that's part of the Declaration of Principles. So firearms. So that's part of the Declaration of Principles. So we have certain definitions. What are accessories? Refers to parts of firearm which may be enhanced or efficiency and accuracy of firearm, but will not constitute any of the major or minor internal parts of the firearms, but not limited to laser, scope, sight, and sound suppressors or silencer. So yan po yung firearms, ang major or minor internal parts of the firearms, but not limited to laser, scope, sight, and sound suppressors or silencer. So yan po yung firearms, all time magkaroon yan. It's used only by the military. Ammunition refers to the complete and fixed unit consisting of a bullet, gunpowder, cartridge, case. Refers to the complete and fixed unit consisting of a bullet, gunpowder, cartridge, case, and primer or loaded shell for use in any firearm. Okay? So any antique firearm that is 75 years or older is considered to be an antique firearm. Another is a firearm Another is a firearm which is certified by the National Museum of the Philippines to be curio or relic which is certified by the National Museum of the Philippines to be curio or relic or relic of museum interest, and any firearm which derives substantial part of its monetary value from the fact that it is novel, rare, bizarre, or because it is in association with some historical figure, period, or event. So, nasa definition of terms pa lang tayo. Yan. Bakit may tatlong draw? Period or event. So, nasa definition of terms pa lang tayo. Yan. Bakit may tatlong drawing dyan? What is a firearm? It refers to any handheld or portable weapon, whether a small arm of or light weapon that expels or designated to expel a bullet, shot, slug, missile, arm of or light weapon that expels or designated to expel a bullet, shot, slug, missile, or projectile which is discharged by means of expansive force of gases from burning powder or other form of combustion or any similar instrument or implement. I think you're all familiar with these kinds of firearms. Pag sinabi kasi handgun, it refers to this kind of firearm, a gun or a weapon held by a hand. Tapos, small arm refers to this kind of firearm, pwedeng rifle, pwedeng shotgun. Put it on your shoulder and fire it. Pag sinabi naman light weapon, it's a firearm. Basically, it's either a submachine gun or a rifle that has full automatic burst or tri-burst. The only authorized to civilian owners are firearms with single burst or semi-automatic burst. In the Philippines, unlike the United States of America, a barrel, a receiver, or they still have the right to own that full automatic weapon, provided that they comply with the registration and preservation in accordance with this present law. So another weapon is the Class B type weapon. It's the cruiser, which means there must be a need for 2 or more persons to shoot this firearm, tulad ng mga machine guns, mga heavy guns na full automatic fire. These are cruiser weapons considered as Class B light weapon. Diba under the old law, PD 1866, pag sinabing loose firearms, yan yung mga walang lisensya. Under the current law, there are several classifications of a loose firearm. One is an unregistered firearm. For example, you went to Cebu, you went to a place known as, ano ba yung pagawaan sa Cebu na, na puro paltik, Danao. Eh yung pagawaan doon sa Danao, hindi naman siya registered. Bumili ka, Colt 1911, otherwise known as Coltic. That is a loose firearm by definition of law because it is unregistered firearm. Why is it considered to be a loose firearm? The purpose of registration for the owners and makers of firearms is for the agency like the PNP to be sure that the firearm that you own is a quality firearm. Otherwise, if this paltik or coltic or whatever you call it, yung teka-teka guns, which are not registered, be used, it may pose danger to the owner, yung mga coltic sa mga paltik. Another classification of a loose firearm is, bumili ako ng isang Philippine brand. Ito, a loose firearm is, bumili ako ng isang Philippine brand. Ito, gawain to ng mga kasama nating shooters para magpa-impress. Siyempre, pupunta sila sa range. Ang bili nila doon sa baril nila is 15,000. Product of the Philippines, I won't mention names. Product of the Philippines, I won't mention names. Ang ginawa niya, para ma-impress yung ibang tao, inobliterate yung markings. Ginawa niya, Bato de la Rosa. During that time, yung PCC, if you know what PCC, alam yung PCC, meron kayo niyan eh. Saka yung shotgun, during that time, pwede kong dalhin yan because I applied a permit to carry for those particular firearms. Kaya noon, hindi lang pistol ang dala ko. Meron pa akong PCC at meron din minsan akong shotgun. Kasi pag umuwi ako sa probinsya, halimbawa from Manila to Rizal, bit ko palagi yung yung shotgun ko noon. Noon yon, nung pwede pang mag-issue ng ng permit to carry for PCCs and sports shooting competition. Di ba ang reason kaya nasulat ang batas na to is because of two reasons. First reason is for self-defense. The other one is sports shooting. Of course, kung may baril ka, kailangan at least naman once a month or once every 3 months, you have to train and practice. Otherwise, the shooting skill is a diminishing skill. It's a perishable skill, nawawala yan. I remember in 1989 when I was a member of the Board of Trustees of Progan, one of the members then went to our office and he said, something happened with him. He was a new gun owner. He had a Colt 45, I think it was a gold cap. Hinakaw sa kanya. What happened was that, there are some gun owners are like this. Pumunta na lang doon, way back. Pumunta sa gun store, nagbayad. Hindi siya nag-practice ng shooting, hindi siya nag-gun safety. You know what happened? Pag-uwi niya nung baril niya sa bahay, hindi man lang siya naturuan kung paano mag-lock, unlock, nung Sabi niya, bahala na ako dyan, may manual naman. So what happened? Pinasok yung bahay nila, pag tutok niya, nilagyan ng bala yung baril niya, nakatago, nung nilooban siya, nung pinuputok niya yung baril niya, hindi niya maputok. Kasi nagbayad lang siya. Dumaan siya, sinortcut niya. Nagsubog sa amin, hinakaw yung baril niya and everything. Sabi namin, buti hindi ka pinaputukan ng sarili mong baril. Kaya palagi namin sinasabi, yes sir, kasi nagbayad lang ako eh. Kaya palagi namin ini-encourage ang sport shooting sa gun owners for you to hone your skills. Kasi hindi pwedeng baby-babyhin na yung baril. Kasi you should know how to operate your firearm because a firearm is just like any other tools. Diba? Kaya marunong ka rin gamitin yung driller mo. Baka hindi mo alam gamitin. Paglagay mo nung drill bit niya, baliktad pala. So it's just like the firearm, it's just a tool. You have to hone your skills on that. You have to go to the club and try shooting once every 3 months at least. Para na sa ganun, hindi mawala sa'yo yung skills mo. Kasi you have to remember, when you own a gun, you have to be a responsible gun owner. Baka pagbaril mong ganun na-violate mo yung gun safety, for rules of gun safety. Pagbaril mo, pag-aim mo doon sa kabila, tumama. So, in protecting yourself, nakapatay ka pa ng ibang tao, naka-injure ka ng ibang tao. So, what we usually recommend and urge people is those owners of firearms must constantly practice and play with their toys. Kasi toys yan tools yan So yan, involve yourself in shooting competition. Kung medyo ayaw mo naman na masyado ng shooting competition, what will you do then? Di mag-target practice ka, at least precision shooting, mas okay. To make it safe, so that you should be accurate in the things that you want to shoot. Because one rule in gun safety is you know what to shoot, know what's in front and at the back of the thing that you're trying to shoot.
Lawrence Asherto. So we are also inviting Attorney Amado Akmarali and the rest of the Board of Directors to please come up on stage for the awarding ceremony. So that is simply called Security Management, Synergy of Hardware, Software, and Human Technical Expertise, held on October 22, 2024 at the Grand Ballroom of Okada, Manila. So please, pabigay na lang po. And also, we would love to give this plaque of recognition as well to Dr. Arthur Lawrence L. Asherto again for his invaluable contribution as a resource speaker, sharing his expertise and insight during the 17th Security Management International Convention held on October 22, 2024 at the Grand Ballroom of Okada, Manila, Parañaque City. The dedication and commitment to enhancing knowledge and fostering meaningful discussions were indeed instrumental to the event's success. Given this 22nd of October in the year of our Lord 2024, undersigned by Chairman Emeritus Dr. Eduardo M. Fulgencio, PhD, CPP, CFE, CSP, National President, Director Nilson Silva, PhD, MSM, CSI, CSP, National VP and Convention Chairman, Director Sebastian Puwache, PhD, CPP, MSM, CSI, CSP. Marami pong salamat. Masigabong palakpakan po. While we are waiting for them to finish their photo opportunity with our speakers, allow me to acknowledge the security manager of GMEC Power Corporation, who came all the way from Mariveles, Bataan, retired Police Major Dennis. We want to also add that retired Police Major Dennis Ebsolo CSP was the Metrobank Foundation awardee, being the 2018 Best Police Officer of the Year. Palakpakan naman natin. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Maraming salamat. Without further ado, proceeding to the next topic, but allow me to mention just quickly, apologies for my announcement regarding PADPAW convention. It's not a convention, it's a security industry regulation seminar. It's going to happen on October 24th to 25, sponsored by Archer Academy at Aberdeen Court. All right, our speaker, allow me to call one of the prettiest national director that we have, Director Aigret P. Lahara, CSP. Palakpakan naman po natin.
Gising pa po ba ang lahat? O busog na po ang lahat? Are you still with us? Okay. Before we dive into another interesting topic, let me first introduce someone who embarks excellence in this field. Our next resource speaker, more fondly known as Orange, has more than 10 years in the marketing and communication profession. She has spent most of her career with public utilities doing branding, strategic communication, crisis communication, advocacy campaigns, and consumer program development. During her GOP in 2016, she dedicated her time to the local government of Butuan as a pioneering head of the local investment and promotion. Shortly after, she joined Department of Trade and Industry in Caraga. In 2019, she became part of Maynilad as head of marketing services. While in Maynilad, she became head of Maynilad's business development for Mindanao. And now, she's with Meralco Power Academy as director for advocacy and communication. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our next resource speaker, Miss Kathleen Christy Yorico.
I may look like a child, but don't you worry. I can own a what you call that? An armor. Because I'm old na, no? So, good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Orange, and I understand you are already overloaded with quick and entertaining. Ayan. So, once again, good afternoon. It is my privilege to speak to you about brands, and throughout history, branding has served as a powerful tool for symbols, marks, and signs have been used to unite people, establish authority, and propagate ideas. We have Christianity and Judaism. Today, let us explore on the idea of a brand being more than just a logo and deep dive into its relevance, the myths surrounding it so we understand it better, the kind of brands we should become, and the important principles to create lasting impact. Branding or brand is important because it has a way of influencing our behaviors. To drive my point, let's say you saw a cow and it's unbranded. What you normally do, or what we will normally do, is we leave it, or we take it, or we eat it because it's unbranded. Nobody owns it. However, if we see a branded cow but unrecognized, what do we do with it? We leave it to be, or we look for the owner. However, if that cow is actually branded and recognized, and that's the power of brand. Brands are also valued in millions, even in billions. In the case of the Philippines, we have BDO valued at $2.5 billion, Jollibee at $2.3 billion. Companies spend millions of pesos building a brand. Even cities are now becoming more aware of the importance of branding, that they too started to brand their cities. On my way to Okada this morning, it's just dawned on me that even our politicians understand the power of branding. Aren't we all exposed already to their subtle branding strategy way ahead of election? So yes, brands' influence and value cannot be undermined. But do we really understand what brand is? Of being. Ito yung mga fandom na tinatawag. But in the olden times, I think will be most of you are familiar with this. In the olden times, you have the fandom of Barangay Ginebra, right? Who even composed a song for the team. Yes, we all want to be loved. Your companies can be loved. And these are my humble contribution to this conference, no, that I hope that you will take with you when you create your brands for your agencies. There are 4 principles that branding begins with a why. Start with a why was popularized by Simon Sinek. When a brand clearly communicates its why, it fosters authenticity. Customers are more likely to trust brands that are transparent about their purpose. Compelling why resonates on emotional level, making consumers feel connected to the brand's mission. In a crowded market, a clear why helps differentiate a brand from competitors. Let's look at Nike. Nike's mission is to inspire and innovate for every athlete in the world, believing that if you have a body, you are an athlete. Their focus is the empowerment, pushing boundaries and encouraging everyone to reach their potential. This purpose is reflected in campaigns such as Just Do It, which motivates people to become obstacles. By aligning their products with this mission, Nike has cultivated a strong emotional connection with its customers, turning them into brand advocates. I'll share with you one example. Please play.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment.
Humanity can foster deeper relationships, build trust, and create a sense of community. It's no longer about share of wallet or share of market. It is already about share of heart. I'll give you an example, and this is very familiar to all of us. Jollibee. Jollibee has turned to real life stories and humanize what Jollibee is really all about. With Kwentong Jollibee, it communicated that the brand is present at any moment. It understands both the trials and the triumphs and drives mindset and behavior change. This is why branding is relevant to you in the security industry, because we needed each other to trust the sense of security you provide to all of us. With our limited knowledge as a public, as a consumer of your product, no, we have a very limited knowledge about the security industries, what you really do, no, the kind of service that you really do for us. We aren't able to appreciate the things that you do. Perhaps it's time for your brands to shine. Because the more people trust you, the more that we are willing to respond and share our lives to you. To capture what I just shared with you this afternoon, here is a video. Do I have time for one more video? Here is a video about the greatest fandom. They call it the greatest
as security personnel. So that's very powerful. Palakpakan po natin once again our resource speaker. PSIS International Believer in Security Education presents this plaque of recognition to Ms. Kathleen Christy Dorico, the Head of Business Development for Maynilad in Mindanao, for her invaluable contribution as a resource speaker, sharing her expertise and insights during the 17th Security Management International Convention with the theme Contemporary Security Management, Synergy of Hardware, Software, and Human Technical Expertise, held on October 22, 2024 at the Grand Ballroom of Okada, Manila, Parañaque City. Your dedication and commitment to enhancing knowledge and fostering meaningful discussions were instrumental to the event's success. Given this 22nd day of October in the year of our Lord, 2024, undersigned by Chairman Emeritus Dr. Eduardo M. Fulgencio, PhD, CPP, CFE, CSP, National President Director Nilson Silva, PhD, MSN, CSI, CSP, and National VP, and Convention Chairman Director Sebastian M. Puache, PhD, CPP, MSM, CSI, and CSP. Muli pong masigabong palakpakan for our resource speaker who spoke about the power of branding, Ms. Kathleen Christy Dorico. Are we awaiting? Ladies and gents, we'd love to thank our badge sponsor. Again, Commerce Asia Incorporated. Palakpakan po natin ang Commerce Asia Incorporated. So, for the next speaker, we'll be calling our National Secretary to introduce our guest speaker, no other than Director Larry P. Franco, CSP. Palakpakan po natin.
Thank you. One last. Our next speaker has been in the law enforcement and the corporate security sector for more than 30 years. A certified public accountant, or CPA, he has worked with the National Bureau of Investigation as a senior agent in the late 1980s. He later joined the U.S. Secret Service as a special investigator. Then, the American Express Philippines employed him as their head for corporate security. He went back again to the NBI to lead various units and divisions such as the Cybercrime Division, the Digital Forensics, Cyber Investigation and Assessment Center, and Information and Communications Technology Services, among others. He is currently the Assistant Regional Director of NBI Cagayan Valley Regional Office. He has authored 2 books, The Bridge, Investigation Principles and Tales, and Cyberverse, Nude Leaks, Crowd Fraud, Love Scam, Viral Challenges. He is also a Certified Protection Professional, or CPP, by the American Society for Industrial Security and a CSP by the Philippine Society for Industrial Security. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker is Mr. Victor Vic Lorenzo.
Good afternoon. Thank you, sir, for that kind introduction. Sir Fulgencio, medyo sisisihin lang kita, sir. I'm presently assigned in Region 2 in Tuguegarao. When I received the invitation, just yesterday afternoon, I just arrived in Cagayan. Kaya lang, pwede akong tumanggi, pwede rin hindi. But as Miss Orange would say, may love brand na. May love brand na ang PSIS, and how could you resist? Mahal ho natin ang PSIS. So I traveled from Cagayan and I just arrived in time. Kung makikita niyo ho, dun sa invite, wala ho akong picture. Wala rin ho akong topic. Paki-review ho, wala akong topic. At hinuli niyo pa ho ako. Maraming salamat, sir. Talagang, yung si Miss Orange, nasaan na ba si Miss Orange? Umalis na ba? Yung nasi speaker. Kasi she talked about love. Gusto ko sanang tanungin, sir, yung can you really fall in love virtually? Kayo ma'am, virtually ba pwede kang ma-in love? Na hindi po malamimit yung tao. I usually ask this sa mga previous presentation ko. Parang branding din yan ma'am. It depends. Ang sabi ni Miss Orange kanina, Gen Z siya. Pero palagay ko millennial siya eh. Kasi yun sa aming mga millennials, virtual reality is as real as physical reality. Again sir, wala akong topic, so I decided just to talk about 3 things. Yung common threats in the cyber world, and you should answer the question, are we still relevant? Because of the technological advancement in the security landscape, relevant pa ho ba tayo? And of course, allow me to discuss also yung journey ho natin. Paano tayo nag-umpisa? Ano pupuntahan natin at saan tayo magiging relevant? What is the condition when an individual fears being detached from their phones? Lahat tayo may mobile phones. Ano ho yung condition natin? Ano ho yung sakit? Kapag ang isang tao ayaw nang mahiwalay lang sa mobile phone nila, nagpapanik. Ano ho yan? Ano ang tawag dyan? Pwede ho nyo i-google, pero mas uso na ho si ChatGPT ngayon. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng ChatGPT? Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Ano ho ba yun? Yan ho ang ChatGPT. Sige, ChatGPT nyo kung ano yung phobia na yan. Pag kami nakakasagot sa audience, yung mga taga-Bersa dyan, baka pwede nyo gusto nyo mag-participate. Habang naghihintay ho ako, pinabirsa ako kanina. So, sana na-enjoy nyo. Kayo ma'am, from Bersa, takbo ka na ma'am kasi medyo limited lang yung time. Sige, bibigay ko sa iba. Sir, ikaw na lang. Ano yan, sir? Anong phobia yan? Fear of being away from your mobile phone. Nakuha mo na, sir? Sir, ano, sir? No more phobia? Hindi, sir. Sige, bibigay ko na rin sa iyo, sir. Ito, sir, yung keychain. Yung birsa, sir, nahihiya eh. Sir, paki-assess the impact. Ano bang mga na-encrypt na data? Kung wala naman ho, kung hindi naman relevant sa business nyo, and it could not disrupt the business, you might as well not negotiate. And at the same time, you have to decide at the only raise your hand. Kahit na ano lang, participant ka lang. Wala pa ho. Kung wala pa, the most important part of the negotiation is to answer the question on whether you're going to involve law enforcement authorities in the ransomware negotiation. Mahirap po kasi yun eh. Totoo ba na ransomware kayo? Na-encrypt yung data nyo or na-delete? Local ba ang attackers ninyo or international? Yan ang mga dapat tinatanong natin. So, if you're going to coordinate with law enforcer, baka may reputational damage. I am from law enforcement. Alam ko, there's a possibility that the case would be leaked out sa media. Can you afford that? Tataas po kasi ang chances na ma-pick up ng media if you're going to refer the matter with law enforcer. So balancing act po yan. Kaya lang, if you do not know how to handle ransomware negotiation, paano kayo mag-move forward? Yun ang dapat na i-calculus of negotiation. Are you talking to the right guy? Kasi there's a possibility that you are not talking with the right hackers. Baka man in the middle. Na-intercept yung communication ninyo, then they assume the identity of the hackers that penetrated your system. Kailangan malaman nyo, totoo ba na sila yung nag-hack dun sa system nyo or hindi? Because there's a possibility na may man in the middle. Yung communication nyo, again, intercepted, And yung hackers, yung hackers who assume the identity of the true hackers are already communicating with you. So dalawa na nag-hack sa inyo. Yung totoong hackers at yung man in the middle. Yung future targeting, huwag kayong maging eager beaver just like in the traditional kidnap or ransom. Huwag tayo maging eager beaver to settle with bitcoins, pay off the hackers. Kasi yung uulit-ulitin yan. Make it hard for them. Art po yung negotiation na yan. And there are so many certifications, so many modular courses being offered. Tingnan nyo online yung ransomware negotiation course. Tingnan nyo, meron na hong ino-offer niyan on how you're going to negotiate with hackers doing ransomware. Tapos yung reputational consequence, of course, if you are a bank, you have been hacked, may reputational because of the client's belief. Hindi ko lang alam kung sa brand may effect. Sana naitanong ko kanina kay Ms. Oring. Ano ba yung mga ano ngayon? Yun yung mga common threats na nakikita natin. And it's on the rise, yung ransomware. Tumataas ho ang incidents niyan. And what are the challenges right now? Yung technological challenges natin with the presence of emergence of artificial intelligence. Lahat na ho kaya ninyong tingnan. I-Google or i-chat GPT. Or ang daming machine learning tools that are available online and libre ho. Yung coding, yung coding ho kasi dinideny nila na na-scam sila. Yun ho ang dapat i-hurdle ninyo. Tama yun, ma'am?
Tama po.
Oo. Pero hindi pa talaga. Hindi, yung love scam kasi parang ano yan, scam talaga yan. Iba yung talagang iniwan ka. Hindi yun scam. Separate ways ang tawag doon. What do you call a condition? Yung ayaw ka nang i-text. Ayaw ka nang i-text. Ayaw ka nang kausapin sa phone. Anong condition yon? Ghosting? Hindi siya nagre-reply sa'yo. Anong tawag mo doon? It's called anong tawag doon? Meron pa yata ako dito eh. Ito, bibigyan ko na lang itong clicker.
Sige, sir.
Ito.
Ghosting?
Ghosting? Hindi, sir. Malapit na, sir.
Scene zone?
Ano, sir?
Scene zone.
Scene zone? Pwede rin. Hindi. Yung ano lang, it's called, pero bigay ko na rin sa iyo.
Kala po niya yung wallet niya na po yan.
Hindi, meron pa ako eh. Wala na nga laman.
Joke lang po.
Wala na laman.
Ay, okay. Sige
It's
po.
called, sir, yung phabbing. Phone snubbing. So, yan ang mga gagamitin nyo lagi. You're doing phabbing. Mga ganun ba? Para, sir, acclimatize din tayo sa mga terminologies namin. Our journey. Di ba, ang tingin sa atin ng owners before, di ba, we belong to the basement. Di ba, natatandaan nyo, sir, yung mga security practitioners, ang office natin dati nasa basement. Bakit ba ganun? Kasi yung basement mentality. Kala nila dati cost center lang tayo, gastos lang tayo. Then came yung 9/11. Na-realize ng businesses na we are already part of the corporate. So kasama na tayo dun sa whole spectrum ng business. That was the time. Pero natatandaan ko pa, in-explain niya ni Doc Fulgencio, natatandaan mo sa sina Colonel Luga, di ba sir? Sila yun, mga pioneers. Pero ang offices nila, madaling puntahan kasi sa basement. Yun nga. Tapos yun, naging part na tayo ng corporate DNA. And as of now, parang nakikita na ng businesses na security is already a separate dimension. Katulad ng finance, HR, tapos may security na. And we are no longer just a cost center. Although we are still considered as a non-revenue service, but they are beginning to realize that without the support ng security, hindi rin mag-grow business-wise ang company. So nag-iiba na yung, nag-shift na yung mindset. And it's very important for us na mag-participate sa mga ganitong events. Katulad ng PSIS. Yung biggest and most respect. Nung tiningnan ko yung when I received the invitation and I saw yung topics, yung synergy of hardware, software, and human technical expertise. Napaka-timely niyan. Kaya talagang nagmadali ako. Even without them providing me a specific topic to discuss, nakita ko yung relevance and importance niyan sa security industry. Again, are we still going to be relevant in the future? Tinanong ko si ChatGPT, can ChatGPT, i-type nyo, can ChatGPT conduct security audit? Subukan nyo kung ano sagot. This is the actual answer. Meaning, na hindi pa rin tayo magiging obsolete. There will always be a human wetware side of the security business. There will always be a wetware side. Kailangan ho tayo. And even ChatGPT could not conduct a security audit on its own. Kailangan din ho lalabas at magkakandak ang mga security professionals ng security audit. Kahit na ho advent ng artificial intelligence, no matter how complicated yung mga equipment, sino ho mag-a-analyze? Yung mga tools na yan, sino mag-i-implement? And do not fear technology. Leverage on the power of technology. And at the same time, appreciate it. Huwag ho tayong...
Sorry po, just one quick question lang po.
Yes, sir. Question, sir.
Di halimbawa, tanong ko lang, may nahuli na bang ng mga ransomware?
Ang ganda ng tanong mo, sir. Usually, sir, sa experience, in my personal experience and the experience of the entire agency, meron kaming nahuhuli, pero yung sa endgame na, yung encashment na. Pero ransomware, at least you have to talk with us para alam namin. Ito ang, we will manage you can manage your expectation on the result.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Victor V. Lorenzo. So you can be at the center together with our bosses. PSIS International, the leader in security education, presents this plaque of recognition to Mr. Victor V. Lorenzo, CPP, for his invaluable contribution as a keynote speaker, sharing his expertise and insights during the 17th Security Management International Convention with the theme of contemporary security management, synergy of hardware, software, and human technical expertise, held on October 22, 2024 at the Grand Ballroom of Okada, Manila, Parañaque City. Your dedication and commitment, sir, to enhancing knowledge and fostering meaningful discussions were instrumental to the event's success. Given this 22nd day of October, the year of our Lord, 2024, undersigned by our Chairman Emeritus Dr. Eduardo M. Fulgencio, PhD, CPP, CFE, and CSP, National President Director Nielsen Silva, PhD, MSM, CSI, CSP, and of course, our National Vice President and Convention Chairman, Director Sebastian Puwache, PhD, CPP, MSM, CSI, CSP. Nakikisuyo na lang po. Nasigabong palakpakan for Sir Victor V. Lorenzo. I hope you guys learned so much from that powerful talk. Malapit na po tayo, but I hope you guys are still with us. Are you still with us? Can you say yes? Yes! Okay, one last speaker, and then after that, ladies and gents, will be a